Shalom, giving all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And as always, we give peace and salutations unto the elect. And real briefly, I wanted to touch on this article. This is off of Ohio State House News. And this is also happening in a few other places where, as we know, another lockdown is coming. And they've pushed all of the propaganda and, you know, lies out there. And, you know, prior presidents that have been in office have put legislation in place for this very moment. See, a lot of you people think that because one president is in office, you know, he's against the doings of the prior president and all of this, but ultimately they all forward wickedness, but they just do it under new terms. And why they push all of this bread and circuses your way and confuse you, okay, they're able to pass all of this legislation and then set up false, situations on earth. Put it in the news, put it in the media, because right now they're preparing for total anarchy as well. All right, so that they can force, and justify force of their new world order, man. Okay, they're gonna need total chaos, and it's being prepared. Anarchy is being prepared. Okay, lawlessness is being prepared. Now, in this article, the title is CDC, Center of Disease Control, which we know they work wickedness, advise parents to prepare for sudden sleepover for school children. Meaning, if your children are in these schools, because we're living at a time where some parents have put their children back into these schools. And in these schools, there's basically detention camps. They're, they can't be around each other. They have to wear masks. They're separated in the lunchroom. It's just a total, life itself under this devil, especially what he's doing, pushing forth with this whole virus thing. It's pretty much lost its savor. There's no feel to life anymore. I mean, pretty much we're living in a prison. The whole earth under E's rulership has been a prison, but right now, as he's getting ready to, hone in on, total world domination, things are going to get worse. And we had the first lockdown, and things have gotten significantly a little loosened, but they're getting ready to grip it tighter. So a lot of people have sent their children back to school. But what you don't know is that there's legislation on book that the state have dominion over your child if something like an outbreak pops up, all right, among these children in these schools. And they're going to do it, and they're going to be justified in taking your children away from you for a particular amount of time for the purpose of quarantine and all of these various different things, man. So they're getting ready to come with some serious draconian measures, and you people, especially you Israelites, are still in the mode of voting and, trying to get it right with this guy. Meanwhile, he's, all right, moving forth with draconian measures and hatred. And we're going to get the scriptures now. A sudden sleepover for school. And ICE gave you an example of what this man will do to your child. He will take your child from you. And even going back, to when we were in hardcore slavery, more of a hardcore physical slavery, he would take your child from you, man. Could you imagine that? And you'll never see that child again. Separate and breaking up families is this man's claim to fame. Now, it says easy as ABC. And they always promote things as loving and caring. But we know they come as a lamb with two horns. But what follows? Draconian measure. He speaks as a dragon. Revelation 13th chapter describes this devil to a T. Easy as ABC. 3 steps to protect your child during emergencies in the school day. Now, if you notice, not once, now Trump did mention zinc, but they're not promoting, they're not using the scriptures to promote your covering or the herbs or anything, man, or prayer. Everything is geared towards, left hand activity, man, and deception. But then these are the same people who, when their presidents go into office, they swear on the Bible. Not once have they turned to the Bible for any sort of advice or spiritual covering, because these aren't the people of the Bible, man. And we're finding that out. Ask, it says, A, ask how you would be reunited with your child in an emergency or evacuation. B, bring extra medicine, special food, or supplies your child would need if you were separated overnight. You see that? So they're going to take your children from you, and they're planning it and telling you that they're going to do this right in your face, man. This is why we tell you Israelites that now is not the time of building. This devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, man. Okay? We're living in a time that the faith is more important than anything, man. And walking in the spirit and being as pilgrims, because we're going to have to separate wholly from this system, okay, in the very near future, which is going to be very trying to the flesh. The hour of temptation is upon us. Okay, and this next lockdown is going to be a whole nother level, man. And yeah, it's a forged. Yeah, it's a lie. Everything's, pretty much, left hand and deception. But there's actually going to be a lot of deaths. There's actually going to be a lot of things happening that are going to bug you out if you're not rooted. Complete a backpack, card, and truck, and tuck one in your child's backpack and your wallet. So this is the ABC. These are the steps you need to take to prepare yourself to be separated from your child overnight. And we know that they had the 2-week quarantine for people who were, said to have been, infected with this virus. Well, they can do this with your child. And if you remember, Trump was saying that only blacks and browns should go back to school first. He actually said that, man. And then whites. So what the hell are they doing, man? I mean, how long? What more do you need to see that these people are Satan, man? Yep, the U.S. dollar is being wiped out. And they're going to come with a new currency. This is all a reset. During these lockdowns, these elites have hoarded everything to themselves. Okay, and they're squeezing out the middle class, man. They're squeezing out private farmers, and your, alternative ways to getting goods and things. That's all going to be wiped out. It says the Center for Disease Control recently updated their website advising parents to prepare for a sudden sleepover for their children in the case of a disaster, which could include COVID-19. Coincidentally or not, a few days later, on August 31st, a new order was issued by Ohio Department of Health Interim Director Lance Himes, creating FEMA COVID-19 shelters and legalizing their use. You see that? And this is that national, then you have the NDAA thing that Obama, your beloved Obama, put in place, to where these peacekeepers can come over here, and we know what the peacekeepers really are about, because here it is. Obama was given a Nobel Peace Prize when he got in office, war flourished, death flourished. Under Trump, war is flourishing and death is flourishing. But he gets a Nobel Peace Prize. Why? Because they are double speaking. Okay? They all have an agenda to fulfill the will of Satan. Okay? But by peace, he would destroy many. It's a false sense of peace. And what they're telling you that they're planning to do with your children is a false sense of security. And we know what they do with children. To the point where you can't speak against pedos. You can't speak against them now. They're a protected group. The FEMA shelters are used to isolate the diagnosed with showing symptoms of COVID-19. The CDC advised parents to prepare for children to be detained overnight. And we know that overnight can mean 2 to 3 weeks or a month, or you not seeing your child again. And what do you think they're going to be doing with your children when they have them if they're not covered by the Lord? Okay? And the Lord doesn't work a mighty work for that child in that situation. Because who knows what us and our children are going to be up against and situations we're going to be in before the Lord works that mighty work. They're going to be injecting them with things. They're going to be molesting them. They're going to be doing what they've always done. Selling them off for trafficking reasons. And this is what's all in the news. And why do you think they continuously push you Israelites on the forefront of their news and these riots? Because all that they're doing is being outed, man. All that, what they're doing with children, all of that is being outed. So they're trying to hide what's, being exposed about them and put you Israelites at the forefront and to justify raiding your ass when they need to be raided. But they're going to be raided by the angels, man. Governor Mike DeWine requires schools to report kindergarten through 12 students' COVID cases to the government. This must be done within 24 hours of a positive test. And we do know, according to what they themselves have told us, the positive tests have not been 100% accurate and have been forged. You had people with pre-existing conditions who died off, and COVID was put on a death certificate. Okay, in certain parts of the earth, they had to admit that they did that at a large rate. Why? So that they can promote a scare and justify stuff like this. A 3-step preparedness card published by CDC, the Center of Disease Control, which this is where they create, one of the many places where they create diseases and have patents to diseases. Now, if you have a patent to a disease, that means you created it, right? The CDC says it's as easy as ABC to prepare. And look how cute they make it. Bring extra medicines. And here, this is the form. Tell the school administrators about any extra supplies your child may need to make it through the night away from home. The CDC advised bring extra medicines, special foods, or supplies your child would need to be separated overnight. Complete a backpack card and tuck one in your child's backpack and your wallet. The ODH orders calls for college students living in dorms or other situations deemed unacceptable by health officials to be sent to FEMA shelters for isolations. Now, does not the scripture say the devil shall cast some of you in prison? Okay? And those FEMA camps are nothing but forms of prison. And when we brought this out, for years we were called a conspiracy theorist. Any Ohioan living in a household, and this will soon be all of the states, that health officials deem unacceptable, generally share a bathroom, could be legally ordered to a FEMA shelter. So they can deem your household unacceptable, say that somebody, all right, in this house has come in contact with someone who has COVID. We need to separate you all and throw you in this FEMA camp, which they're going to make it seem cute. You're just going to stay here for a while. We're going to test you out, make sure everything's okay. And then it's going to be forced vaccinations and everything else, man. But we told you all for years what this devil is getting ready to do. Now, the scriptures, when it describes 70 AD, these were the same types of things that were happening. In 70 AD was martial law. Luke 19 and 43. This is Yahushua telling them of 70 AD and what's getting ready to happen. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and a trench is being cast about you. You're living in a maze that they've created to where there's no way out. If you notice, there's all of this rebuilding going on the highways and in neighborhoods, and they're putting cameras underground. They got different things and nukes that's gonna go off. But you're in a trap. If you live on the grid, you're in a trap. So we need Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And some of us, yes, some of us will flee, but some of us are going to get caught up in this for the Lord's purpose to work a mighty work, man. For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee and compass thee around and keep thee in on every side. That's sending troops into your neighborhoods. Okay? And they're going to compass you around about and keep thee in on every side, meaning they know where the hell you're going to be. They're going to be waiting on you. They're going to be rounding you up. And who's the number one people who they're going to be after? Whose name has been in the news at the forefront of this COVID talk? It simply quickly jumped from the Chinese eating bats to niggas who eat chicken. They even said chicken wings in certain parts of the earth have COVID. How can a chicken wing have COVID? You know, all sorts of madness has come out to link you Israelites to being at the forefront of this disease being spread. You see that? So they're going to compass thee around on every side, just like they did in 70 AD. And they shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee. And they shall not leave in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation. Let's read it in the NLT. Before long, your enemies will build ramparts against your walls, your cities. Okay, Trump said he's going to send the troops, right, to enforce this vax and encircle you and close you in from every side. They will crush you into the ground and your children with you. Your enemies will not leave a single stone in place because you did not accept your opportunity for salvation. In their affliction, they're going to seek him early. And you all have forgot. You all have forgot who the Lord sent against you and why you're in this situation. You don't want to hear it. Deuteronomy 20 and 50. A nation, start at 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. Now, is not Esau linked to the eagle? A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And they came speaking what? That Spanish. Okay, and all of these various different languages that have been forced upon you. Until this day is what they were speaking. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of old, nor show favor to the young. They're not going to have any pity on the young or the old. And we already see that. Let's look at this word favor. So you all have had your chance of repentance. The men of the Lord have warned you of these things. And now they're coming. The word is chanan, to be gracious, to show favor, to pity. And they don't, they're merciless murderers of children, as the scriptures say. These are the new Canaanites in spirit. So they already have a hatred and love for devouring and harming children. How much more when the Lord fully lets them loose, man? All right? But for the elect, ultimately, we've done what we were supposed to do. So we hope and pray that this is not our end, because we want our families to be saved and delivered. But we know that the hour of temptation is going to be upon all of us, and the Lord is going to put us in particular harsh situations so that he can work a mighty work and deliver us out of it. That's why the scriptures say it is the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, but the Lord is going to deliver us out of it. So here we go. And things like this will be worldwide. And when you hear about it, you be like, oh, that's over there. That's in, okay, that's in Georgia. Oh, that's in Ohio. Oh, no, that's not here. Well, it will be. Okay? And this is that fulfillment of Revelation 13, man. Okay? He's came with the two horns already. Like he's really there to help you. Revelation 13 and 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns, all right, like those of a lamb. You see that? And he spake as a dragon, and the two horns like a lamb represent his Democrat and Republican, which people have been suckered into a false sense of freedom and hope from these two systems. All right. And within their whole system, you see this one is against the other, but they all really are for the same game. And this is mind control. But what comes from him speaking as a lamb? Because a lamb is something meek, and ultimately the lamb is Yahushai. So they're coming with their artificial intelligence and their different plans and their vax and all of this different stuff and the chip eventually as a form of salvation for you, but really it's to push forth draconian measures to enslave you and destroy you. Shalom.